Welcome to this week's lesson in environmental ethics. The lesson outcomes and objectives for this week are: as a result of the lesson, students will affiliate to a greater degree with earth-friendly practices. Students will be able to describe 10 benefits of conservation in nature. Students will be able to correctly categorize resources as renewable or non-renewable with at least 80% accuracy. Students will compare the impacts of different actions and will be able to choose which is the more sustainable practice. Finally, each student will create a plan with 5 changes that they promise to make in order to commit to greener living. Before beginning this lesson, I would like you to complete the questionnaire, How Green Are You? Once you have completed it, send me your initial score. Your score will not affect your grade. It is only a tool that will be used to determine your earth-friendly practices prior to and after the lesson. Once you have finished the questionnaire, continue listening to the rest of today's direct instruction. Pause this recording now to begin. Welcome back to today's lesson in environmental ethics. Thank you for completing the questionnaire and sending me the results to my email. The title for this unit's lesson presentation is Earth's Resources, from Indifference to Making a Difference. This presentation should be an excellent link between what we studied last week and what we're working on this week. Enjoy. Who has the right to use Earth's resources? No one? Everyone? How much is too much? Most of us do not think about the consequences of turning up the heat at home on a cold night, or buying a new cell phone, or getting in our car to drive to work. Probably, if you're concerned about these things, it is because of their related costs. Costs are not only monetary, there are associated environmental impacts for each of our actions too. You probably think that it is every person's right to take whatever one can pay for, or to take for free. The problem is that when we all take what we want, there's not enough to go around. We all have an interest in our natural resources, including the land we walk on, because we need them to live. In 1968, the ecologist Garrett Hardin wrote an article called The Tragedy of the Commons. In it, he referred to the commons as the grazing lands and forests that were not considered private property. They were enjoyed by everyone. Consider this scenario to understand the commons. The commons is made up of 10 acres of land that 8 families are sharing. Each family has put 1 milk cow on this grazing land. The grass has plenty of time to grow. Erosion is not a problem. However, what if each person were to add 10 cows to this land? Their grass would be overgrazed and environmental problems would result. After a while, the cows would not even have enough grass to eat, and neighbors would start to get upset with each other. To conserve nature, we must consider how to use but not overuse resources. Consider the following reasons for conserving our resources. Trees decrease atmospheric carbon and global warming, produce oxygen, and increase rainfall. Plants minimize erosion and filter out impurities from the water. Trees are homes to millions of species. Nature still contains unknown life-saving drugs. Crops came from uncultivated plants that contain genes for resistance that may one day be needed. Also, eating organic fruits and vegetables is more nutritious than those raised with chemicals. Eating plant products is more eco-friendly than eating meats. Clean air and water result in good health compared with polluted air and water. Increased competition for resources increases the cost of products and services, and competition leads to stress, whereas beautiful views minimize stress, improve moods, reduce anger and aggressiveness, increase overall happiness, and strengthen immunity. One way that we can minimize our impact upon the environment is by using renewable resources instead of non-renewable resources. This serves to conserve areas that should be protected due to their biological diversity and utter beauty. Renewable resources are endless or can be renewed over a short period, say less than 100 years. They include solar power, wind power, hydroelectric power, and plants taken from habitats that can be renewed over short periods of time. Non-renewable resources take much longer to replenish. Some take millions of years. They include oil, natural gas, coal, and trees taken from rainforest, which took thousands of years to develop the level of biodiversity that they contain. When considering how to reduce your ecological footprint, it is important to first determine your actual footprint. Here is a hypothetical breakdown that may closely resemble your footprint. Food is approximately 13.04% of your ecological footprint. You can reduce your footprint if you buy organic, buy or grow locally, and eat more veggies and fruits and fewer meats. Waste is 17.39% of your ecological footprint. You can reduce waste by reducing, reusing, and recycling. Materials and energy are needed for processing food, making roads, phones, for packaging, clothing, and for heating your home. Transportation. Well, fuel accounts for about 44.57% of your ecological footprint. Drive less, use cleaner fuels, live close to work, and use public transportation. Now, purchasing accounts for 9.78% of your ecological footprint. Cars, houses, appliances, clothing, packaging, etc. Stop buying so much. Live more sustainably. Even a plastic bag takes raw materials and energy to make. Home energy and materials make up 15.22% of your footprint. Live in a smaller home. Use biodegradable products. Use solar power. Shower less. Open the windows when weather is pleasant, and put on layers of clothing when it's cold. Of course, there are many more things you can do to live green, such as planting trees. Answer these questions in order to self-assess yourself on the related goals for this presentation. Please take some time to check out these links on the environment. Thank you, and keep your earth green.